Greetings, everyone. I thought I would take a break from my 1200 series and battle this young man. If you're familiar with my channel, then you know I'm working on a 1200 series of live play. So this live play is going to be a little different against this robot. And so see that bishop is blocking me from castling. That's what I was going to do next. I hate it when that happens. And so a little bit of a different live play if you're following my channel. I will get back to the 1200s again real soon. I just wanted to take a little bit of a break. I feel like my opponent has the stronger advantage in the opening. I feel like I'm making mistakes in this opening. I'm lacking. Yeah, okay. So my opponent definitely has the advantage in this opening. I'm going to review this game afterwards. I feel like I've made a handful of mistakes in this opening. I know I have. I hope you hang around to the review. I am going to review this. And my dog is in the background upset because she's not on my lap. But every time I hit record, my dogs want to get involved. If you're familiar with my automotive channel, then you've seen my dogs. I've put them in my automotive channel. I got my knight and queen working together, and it gives me something for future ideas. I don't know what exactly. Yeah, that rook is in trouble. There's nowhere for it to go, really. Now, if that knight wasn't there, it would be, if my opponent's knight wasn't there, it would be a mate in one. I'd take that bishop and it'd be a mate in one. But that dang knight, yeah, I feel like there was something I could put together there, but I just can't see it. So that's the way it is. Okay, so that point-wise evens us back up again. My opening wasn't that great. I made a lot of mistakes. I can't wait to review that and see and learn. Speaking of seeing and learning, there's check. Put a hard pin on that bishop. I have a major piece under a pawn, so I want to start promoting. That's usually a good rule of thumb. I don't want to do a queen exchange. My queen's in a good spot. I don't blame my opponent for wanting to do the queen exchange. And there it goes. Just because my queen was pinning a piece, it was in enemy territory, I don't blame my opponent for wanting to do the exchange. You know, speaking of learn things, I'll share something with the audience. I used to work for the highway department. A lot of people don't know that, but I got fired. I got fired for work when I worked at the highway department. For stealing. And they suspected me, and they opened the trunk of my car. Why did they suspect me? Because all the signs were there. All the signs were there. So now we got two rooks. We got two major versus two minor. We got bishop and a knight versus two rooks. This is definitely in my favor. However, I got to be careful. You'd be surprised at how well I've had the edge going into the end game, and I've screwed it up. I'm pretty good at that. Pretty good at screwing things up. These marching pawn are hard to stop, by the way. And my opponent could put together a marching pawn as well. And I didn't expect this. That king movement. I need to think about this. I need to quit flapping my big fat mouth and think about this, because bishop's lined up. The knight could come into play there. The king's going to be... I want to push that pawn. I want to push the pawn to b7. What if the king goes to c7? It didn't. That surprised me. I'm anxious to review this and see what's up with that. So this allows me to get my rook lined up. Which way should I line up the rooks? I'm anxious to review that and see if I took with the correct rook, what the computer thinks. There is a pawn storm that could come down. This thing is not over yet, folks. I have to be careful. My biggest threat is this pawn storm. And I've got to be careful of that. Have a rook lined up with a king. I like that. Can't retake. It's probably going to push down. Yeah, and it did. My opponent did. Yeah, I'm going to try to break up this pawn storm. I don't like it. It's the biggest strength that my opponent has, is this pawn storm. And I got to do something about it. Tough opponent. I got to keep my pencil sharp. And yeah. Put a pin on the knight. Now here I have to be careful. The knight's going to be looking for some kind of fork. Normally you don't want to put like a major piece and your king on the same colored square, because the knight will, that's just a good rule of thumb to keep in your mind. Knight will hop, you know, if you're on the dark square, knight will hop to a light square and put some kind of fork. So I normally try to keep the major and the major piece and the king on different colors, but now those pawns are separated, they're isolated, so that's good. When they're together, they can march and do some damage. I still really have my guard up because this thing is not won yet. I'm pretty good at screwing things up. You'd be surprised. Like I screwed up my job with the highway department. It happens. You know, I'm thinking about making a sacrifice. I'm going to. All things being equal, that does not make sense. However, that knight was posing a threat. Let's just kill off the threat. Simplify the end game. And that's the way it is. And okay. Now I'm pretty convinced it's over. Just because my king can just sit there and hang out. I got the G pawn to take. The king is completely cut off. And there it comes, yeah, and there we go. And so now I can just sit there and queen. However, my opponent will now try for some kind of stalemate, something like this. So I still have to be careful. I'm running my big fat mouth. My guard is down a little bit. Now here, I just, towards the end game, I like to create a box from my opponent's king and just keep making the box smaller and smaller, watching out for stalemates. And my opponent's going to make it easy on me. And I can't think. Don't mess this up. Let's see here. Oh, wait. A1 was mate. What the hell am I doing? Shit. Okay, I missed it. So, my critics can have a good laugh at that. They're not laughing with me, they're laughing at me. Yeah, I missed it. A1. Just like the steak sauce. Just like the steak sauce. And there it is. Worthy opponent, he says, a tyrant in your own right. I don't hate it. Okay. I'm going to review the game because there was a lot of things in there. My opening was not very good, I don't think. And let's take a look. Said my opponent played at 84%. I played at 90%, which I'm very surprised at. In the opening, yeah. Okay. Yeah, see, I thought about that. I pushed up that pawn was a mistake. Okay. And I'm trying to get that knight over. Okay, wow. I thought that was a good move. Computer said it was a mistake. Now I can finally castle. Yeah, see, I should have pushed that pawn. I remember that. And let's look at that again. I thought, well, it's a free pawn. But, yeah, okay. And, yeah, my opening, yeah. The Richter scale's shaking up, and it's got my opponent up ahead. But here's where it kind of turns back. Now point-wise, we're evened up. My queen is in enemy territory. They do the exchange. I don't like it, but there it is. I should have. I was too aggressive with pushing up that pawn. I should have marched. The marching pawn. That's the big takeaway from this video. Remember that, marching pawn. I should have had them pawns work together instead of just using the one. But the general rule of thumb is get a major piece under a pawn and push it up. That's the general rule of thumb. Now here, yeah, I'm going to be curious to see what the computer thinks about how I handled some of this pawn storm. Okay, good. Yeah, I could have made some better moves for sure. Okay, the computer said getting rid of that knight was the thing to do. I wondered about that. I really did. Yeah, okay. And they're bringing the enemy in, blah, blah, blah. Of course, I missed the A1. I'm an idiot sometimes. Splatter-ass moment. That's what it is. Splatter-ass moment. Totally missed it. Unbelievable. Okay, great game. A lot of fun. Thanks for watching. I am going to get back to the 1200 series again. Just taking a little break from it right now and doing this. So more videos to come as I try to work my way back into the 1400s. I had it once and I lost it, and I'm going to try to get it back. Thanks for watching. Cheers.